It's one of the first things billions of people see every day: 6 letters, bright colors, and a simplicity that hides one of the most influential brands in human history. The Google logo has become more than just a tech company symbol, it's the gateway to the internet, a design icon, and a quiet evolution of power, playfulness, and precision. But the journey to that crisp, colorful wordmark we know today didn't begin with a billion-dollar strategy. It started with 2 grad students and some questionable font choices. Back in 1997, Larry Page and Sergey Brin were still Stanford students working on a search engine called Backrub. Yes, Backrub. That name didn't stick, thankfully. When they renamed it to Google, a play on the word Google, meaning 1 followed by 100 zeros, it was meant to reflect their mission, to organize the seemingly infinite amount of information on the web. The first official Google logo was created in 1998 using a free graphics program called GIMP. It featured a clunky serif typeface, primary colors, and, perhaps most memorably, an actual exclamation mark at the end, mimicking Yahoo's logo at the time. It looked amateurish, but it had charm. And it didn't matter, because the product was revolutionary. In 1999, the logo was cleaned up. The exclamation mark was dropped, and the font switched to a more refined serif called Catal. But the colors remained: blue, red, yellow, blue, green, red. That order wasn't random. It was designed to feel a little offbeat, not symmetrical, not perfect. It was Google's way of saying, we're playful, different, not bound by rules. Throughout the early 2000s, the Google logo became instantly familiar, but it stayed mostly the same. What changed was what surrounded it. Doodles began appearing, quirky illustrations that temporarily altered the logo to celebrate holidays, events, or famous people. This turned the Google homepage into a cultural mirror, constantly changing, surprising, and delighting. But the core logo stayed. Until 2010, when subtle shading and gradients were added to give it a slight 3D feel. This was part of the broader Web 2.0 trend. Everything needed to look glossy and dimensional. For Google, it was a cautious step toward polish. By 2013, however, the design world had shifted again, now toward flat, minimal design. Google followed suit, removing the drop shadows and flattening the logo for a cleaner look. It was still the same typeface, Catal, but it was getting clear that change was coming. And then, in 2015, Google made its biggest visual leap yet. The company introduced a brand new logo using a custom sans-serif typeface called Product Sans. It was bold, geometric, and far more modern. The colors were slightly softened, the shapes more playful, and for the first time, the logo felt engineered for the digital age. Why the switch? Google had outgrown the desktop. Its tools were now on mobile devices, watches, cars, smart speakers, even glasses. The old serif font didn't scale well. The new logo was designed to be legible on tiny screens, responsive to all contexts, and to work seamlessly alongside animations, icons, and interactive elements. This redesign also introduced the now familiar standalone G icon, the multicolored capital letter that shows up on apps, browsers, and anywhere space is limited. It's instantly recognizable, even without the rest of the word. And yet, despite all the changes, the soul of the logo remains the same: the colors, the clarity, and the sense of approachability. Google's brand is built on trust, speed, and utility, but also on fun. That's why the logo never feels corporate. It feels human. The Google logo works because it doesn't try to impress. It tries to welcome. It doesn't scream innovation. It whispers simplicity. And in a world flooded with flashy logos and design tricks, Google's restraint is its power. It's not just a logo. It's a front door to the internet, to knowledge, and to the modern world.